What moment made you realize that you are not a kid anymore? Having that we have food at home talk with myself. I once read that adulting is getting pissed at yourself for not defrosting the meat. When I realized I could never be fully relaxed because there's always some responsibility looming over me. If you already know this, then disregard. I just want to type this out in case someone suffers from this mindset. I did. This mindset has to be countered by purposely scheduled you time. There will always be shit to do. Always. Someone always needs that help or that work thing done or your presence at this event or this thing in the house fixed, etc., etc. You purposely schedule to do something you want. Then you do it. Need 4 hours to binge video games? Put it on the calendar. Need 7 hours to drive to the trail and hike? Put that shit in the calendar. Need 2 hours away from the kids in a bubble bath? Coordinate with another adult. Drop the kids and chill the fuck out in some bubbly goodness. You schedule everything else in your life, yet time for yourself seems to always slip by. Stop that. Schedule it. The work will be there tomorrow like it always is and always will be. It can wait. Thank you for sharing this. It's such simple advice but so hard to execute when you're just used to putting yourself last. My first year of teaching, when we told the kids to get an adult if there's an emergency, and I realized I was the adult they would be getting. I feel you there. Sometimes it just hits me that I'm the adult in the room and I'm responsible for everything. It's such a weird feeling. At work one day when I was 19, I heard a little girl ask her mom, "What's that man doing?" And I turned to look at what man she was talking about and what the man was doing, only to discover she was pointing at me. WTF were you doing? Jerking off into a cereal box. Someone's gotta frost those flakes. When I saw a forecast for snow and I was annoyed instead of happy. This is a great one. Kids see potential snow day and imagine all the fun a snowy day brings. Adults see shoveling it out of the driveway just so you can sit through a shitty drive to work. When my mother died, I was 17 and the overwhelming sense of "you're on your own. No one is going to protect you or do things for you anymore" felt like the sharpest transition to adulthood imaginable. In high school, a friend of mine worked at a laser tag place. He got a bunch of us in for free one day. In the waiting room, we had a friendly trash-talking match with some 12-year-olds about the upcoming game. One of them came back with "You're on. Kids versus adults." Quote, note, we were all 18 at the time. I work as a retail worker. 18 tomorrow. And a lot of kids at my town recognize me as the man from the store. It really feels weird not knowing all of them, considering I knew everyone in town when I was their age. I was really excited to buy a mop. From that moment on, it all went downhill. Laughing face. I'm almost 40 now. Bought a new vacuum late last year. I'm still semi-excited about using it every time I do. It just works so much better than my old one. When they said, "Some people will meet the person they're going to marry here" at my university welcome speech, that shit fucked me up real good. At my university we joked that some women were there for their Mrs. degree. Edit. Fat fingers. Oh, that's especially bad at Christian colleges. When my actions started to change a lot of people's life. If I don't do shopping today, I cannot cook for my wife and she would not have any food to take in the other day, and in the next day I will be working so no one will buy food. As an example, I used to be able to take days off work whenever I wanted, and now I find myself having to have the if you take that many days off you won't be able to pay your mortgage, so suck it up and go to work. Speech with myself at least once a week. Lol. Edit. For clarification, I work as a nurse and we have our set schedules and between 3 to 6 weeks of vacation a year depending on where you work, your position, and seniority, etc. But I used to have multiple part-time jobs instead of a full-time. I took off many days for travel, etc. But now I am 21 and have a mortgage to think about, so I'm working full-time and can't take nearly as much vacation time off as I used to, and it sucks when some doctors or teachers are younger than me. Yeah, my crotchety old dentist was retiring. He brought in a new, young dentist who was going to take over his practice. Talking to the new dentist, I realized that I'd banged his mom 33 years earlier in the parking lot at a Rush concert. When I was 19, I made a reference to one of my favorite shows from when I was 8 to 12. And a couple of 13-year-olds listening had no idea what I was talking about. I'm learning that those moments never stop happening. I heard a couple teens reference SpongeBob and I had to ask, wait, that's still on the air? To which they informed me it was celebrating its 20th anniversary. I remember watching the premiere episode. I had the first season on DVD and I remember watching it on repeat. I still occasionally watch it, but the episodes have gotten fucking weird. Asterisk graduating high school. Asterisk losing my first grandparent. Asterisk graduating college. Asterisk getting my first job out of school. Asterisk, here's the keys. Here's the tag. Here's the registration. Here's your license back. Asterisk marrying my wife. Asterisk having our daughters. Asterisk, okay fizzy. This mortgage will be 360 months with this much owed on the first of every month. We'll escrow your taxes and insurance. Asterisk losing my dad. Asterisk, okay fizzy. These are the 12 engineers reporting to you. Review their profiles. We'll pay you $, and this is our bonus compensation structure. Your office is down the hall from mine. Asterisk, something before takeoff. Sir, quote. Asterisk doc. Okay fizzy. You're not 20 anymore. Get some cardio 3 to 4x a week. Ditch the whole eggs and that blood pressure and cholesterol should work themselves out. They did. But it sucks to get old. Asterisk, no little one. You cannot have 5 Oreo cookies before your dinner. Quote. I feel like I watched you grow up. They grow up so fast. When I found out I had to choose between dropping out of college and homeless, or going back to live with my abusive family, it really hit me hard that I didn't know what to do, but knew I had to do something. At the time, those weren't the only realistic options. But I was a kid and didn't know that. It took a lot of learning and making mistakes over and over for me to really understand that adulthood meant making it up as I went. I did end up dropping out of college initially to work full-time and get an apartment. And now, 8 years later, I am in a way better place than the scared kid I was before. I see you, and I'm sorry you went through that. Fuck all those people who bred without being fully prepared to love. This past Monday actually, my neighbor has 3 dogs she constantly lets outside without leashes. We share a driveway that connects our 2 small backyards. I have an older dog. I went to take my girl out before work and she let her dogs out without looking. Her pit bull attacked my dog and for 20 minutes we couldn't get it off her. At the end of it, my dog was seriously mauled. I was bit on the hand and arm pretty badly, and suddenly, I had to be THR adult. I had to know what to do. I had to delegate my so to take my dog to the vet, while I stayed behind to talk to the cops and get myself to the hospital. 26 years old, and let me just say, I hate being the adult. I don't think I've ever missed my dad's immediate ability to handle a situation as much as I did on Monday. Did your dog survive? How is your arm now? Yes, she did. She's a trooper. Lots of staples and sutures and a drainage tube in her throat, but she's healing. Her head and neck were badly torn up, but she's always been a strong dog. My arm is on the mend too. Following up with the doc on Monday to address potential nerve damage. Numb on a large portion of my wrist, arm, and my finger that got impaled by a tooth is numb completely above the wound. Wounds are closing well though, and no infections. Genuinely appreciate the concern. I ate a pack of fruit snacks without checking to see what shape they were. Gasp. Realizing that nobody knows what the hell they are doing. Everyone is just winging it. Asked a mate, one of the most well-put-together guys I know, if he had any adulting tips. Just came back with, if you ever find out, please tell me. Tips for adulting from an actual adult. I'm 51. Go listen to The Sunscreen Song by Baz Luhrmann. Everything you need to know about being an adult. I used to print out the lyrics and give them to my kids' friends when they turned 16. When I called someone kid. At this point I feel like the vast majority of the world is full of kids. Anyone under 30 for sure is a kid. When I wanted to be put over the knees and spanked. True story. My first grade teacher gave all the boys birthday spankings in front of the whole class. 1983. Different times. It was the first spanking I actually enjoyed. What? The teacher beat a kink into high monsieur. I was 23, no high school diploma, and a security guard doing access control at an ice cream plant. I realized that if I didn't get out of there and do something, I would be 50 in a flash, and not seen or done anything worthwhile. My life would have peaked at 20 and the rest of my time amounting to little more than waiting to die. Aw mate, don't leave us hanging. Did you get out? Yes. Thank you for asking. I spent the next 9 months trying to get in the Navy. I had to wait for the start of the fiscal year, as only 5% of recruitment can be non-high school grads. But I got in. I became an aviation electronics technician. A couple years later I got my GED. Over a 20-year career I did 3 overseas tours, served on 2 carriers, visited a score of countries, numerous detachments and deployments, and more. Now, almost 2 years since retirement, I do troubleshooting and repairs on airport surveillance radar. It's been a much more interesting trip, with more still to come. Holy shit, that's awesome, well done. When I look in the fridge and start feeling guilty that food has gone bad and therefore wasted. By that logic I grew up when I was 8, skeptical smiley face. I told my niece she needed adult supervision to do something and she looked at me like I was dumber than a block of cheese and asked why I couldn't watch her. You're not the sharpest cheddar in the fridge, huh? Not the most sour parmesan in the pantry either. When I had a file with all my important documents in it, and it's really scary. When my mom went from treating me like a son to a complete stranger who doesn't pay bills. My mom's always treated me like a complete stranger. When I'd fall asleep on the couch and my parents wouldn't carry me to bed anymore. Growing up is tough lol. Sitting with my newborn baby on my bed at night crying because he wouldn't stop crying and I was so darn tired. I would like to tell you it gets better. It doesn't, but there are really good moments followed by really stressful ones. Parenthood for me has had so many ups and downs. You don't think it gets better? My oldest is 3 and there are still problems, but just staying up all night is no longer one of them. It's a different kind of stress. My oldest is 7. I'm not up late from her crying. Now I'm up all night worrying about bullying, or a cough, or a rash, or if she's going to become a meth addict and sell her ass for $20. When I was excited about a new vacuum cleaner, I was driving my sister around and I pointed out to her a building that used to be a Blockbuster, where my dad would take us to when I was a kid. Then I was crying inside at the fact that I said, when I was a kid. I've been saying, when I was a kid since I was like 15 lol. When I lost my job, this was pre-corona, I realized that I'd treated my career like it was school, as if I would keep moving up automatically. It was a juvenile way to approach success. And I realized that if I wanted more from my life and career I couldn't just expect it to happen. I am 27 and that moment has yet to come. I'm 35 now and I feel the same. I've been responsible even as a kid. So adulting is like being a rich asterisk kid. It's great. Now I get to be the rich asterisk kid. Asterisk your mileage may vary. And I just realized I'm approaching midlife crisis. It all makes sense. Thanks user. I just figured out life thanks to you. When it was Christmas Eve and I wasn't as excited and tried to get myself excited. just turned 19 and my mother passed earlier this January. No father figure to rely on. The transition from "I'm going to school with friends" to "I'm working all the time just to not be homeless" is a sharp one. The freedom is liberating and incredibly scary at the same time. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.